Every time I see a thermal imaging picture of a British house in wintertime, I get this mental image of people sitting in their living room setting light to £20 notes. Nearly 25% of all the carbon emissions in this country come from the houses that we live in, and the government is determined to reduce that. So it has produced new planning laws with improved insulation and improved building techniques. They give these a series of numbers. There's Series 3 and Series 4, which we're on at the moment. And by 2012, we should move on to Series 6. I couldn't see a reason why we should wait. And so I've been around the world trying to pick up good ideas on heating, building techniques, to see if we couldn't move straight to a Series 6 house now, a zero carbon house, or as I prefer to call it, a zero energy home. After 2.5 years of travelling around the world, looking at different house building systems and different heating systems, I came up with a package which I think would be relevant for this country. I wanted to produce an affordable home, one that cost little or nothing to heat or indeed cool, and yet still gave a pleasant environment for people to live. At the heart of the concept is a ground source heat pump. This is a clever bit of physics which, by putting a refrigerant down into the ground, only 2 or 3 meters, it picks up a constant temperature and turns that into stored heat, sufficient to give you all the domestic hot water and good underfloor heating. For the heat pump to work really effectively, it does help to have a totally insulated house and an airtight envelope in which to live. Insulated concrete form is where I settled. It's been in use in both Germany and America for the last 25 or 30 years. It's high quality polystyrene blocks, a bit like large Lego blocks, which when filled with concrete produce 4 inches of insulation on the inside, followed by 7 or 8 inches of solid concrete and another 4 inches of insulation on the outside. Put all together in a wall, it's a very, very fast building process in that 3 men can set up the first floor of a house in something like 3 days. And after a day of filling with concrete, you're ready to move on to the second floor. Having created your airtight envelope, I wanted to complete it with a warm roof system. This is different to what we traditionally have in Britain. The loft is normally the coldest place in the house, and that's why you have to insulate it. But this system required insulating the outside of the roof, which meant you still had a good working space that could be used as a child's homework room or games room. The orientation of a house is always very important, and we would prefer, wherever possible, to have the rear of the house facing due south. And this isn't just because it's the best place to have your garden. It's because on the south-facing part of our roof, we have integrated photovoltaic tiles. These are tiles that look just like the tiles on any roof, but they are activated by sunlight and they generate electricity. And it is this electricity that we use to power the pump for the ground source heat pump and your underfloor heating, therefore confirming and producing the perfect circle. To complete your airtight building, it is important to have excellent windows and doors. And here I mean not just double glazing, but triple glazing with an inert gas infill and an airlock front door. To ensure that we have a plentiful supply of fresh, warm air being drawn into the building, we have introduced a ventilation system which allows the air to be warmed by the air that's being expelled from the building. This mechanical ventilation system gives you a situation similar to having all your windows open on a summer's day without any of the problems of insects or pollen or dust being drawn into the house. To complete this house, and acknowledging the importance of water in the future, we have introduced a rainwater harvesting system which takes all the rain that lands on your house and stores it in a tank that can then be used to flush toilets, to water the garden and to wash the car. So to sum up, we've produced the house. Much of the technology in this house has been around for more than 20 years in different parts of the world. All we have done is to gather it all together to make one workable package. And does it cost more to build, you may ask? The answer is no, because part of the package has been searching all the time to find quicker ways in which we can build. This type of house, from foundations to rooftop, is less than a month. The whole house being built in less than 2 months. The savings in labour is what we've been able to use to make all these important technological developments.